we start now?
Hold on.
Oh my God! Hey everybody, that over there is supposed to be John Dill.
Hold on, I'll turn on more lights.
You know what I learned from 20.1? Scott Panchik and Rich Froning are on the same team now.
What do you mean?
When to become one. Scott Panchik, Rich Froning, same team. 20.1. Okay, notice how I left the space over my shoulder right here? That's where Amanda's going to write things in editing. So I'm going to, watch this, John, watch. I'm going to go 20.1, and then it's going to appear right there, right? And then she's going to write 8, ground overhead, right there. 95.65. And then she's going to write 10, bar facing burpees right there. And it's going to write that.
Your finger was in the wrong spot.
And then 15-minute time cap. And it's going to all that's going to be right here. It should be right there right now, everybody. Can you see it? Can you stop moving the camera? Can you stop playing with the camera? I'm trying to use technology to our benefit. 20.1 is 8 power snatch, ground overhead, however, 95.65, 10 bar facing burpees. What do you think about it, John?
I think it's going to hurt really, really bad. That's what I think.
Definitely a little painful.
Little pain.
Little bit of pain.
Excellent
just that amount of burpees just makes me want to puke in my own mouth.
Yeah.
The snatch is fine. It's a lot of them, but whatever. This is a great classic, we would call it, in here. Mm-hmm. Well, there and here. I'd say that's a classic open workout. I love it, and it is nasty. Interesting details from the Froning and Panchik, which, by the way, thank Jesus for Rogue and the announcement show this week. I felt like we were doing the open again. It was awesome. Scott Panchik, Rich Froning, now teammates, doing the workout together.
This is weird.
Panchik actually beat Froning. What do you think about that?
I was extremely surprised. But how old is Froning now, though? How old is he?
63 years old.
Yeah, I figured that had something to do with it.
Panchik's pretty old, too, though. Panchik's like 59. Yeah. Panchik and Froning's first round, roughly 52 seconds, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Panchik's
total time, just over 9 minutes. I don't know exactly. I think it was 9, 10, 12, somewhere in there. So that puts us at a 55-second pace for the first round. That's actually a faster pace. That means he actually picked up on his first round. I think they finished the second round pretty close together in about 45 seconds. But basically they're hovering back and forth between like a 45-second to 1 minute pace the entire time. And as you saw in the end, play out with Panchik, he ended up right around 9 minutes. Rich was just under 10 minutes. For the rest of you, most of the world that will be competing, do we think that pace is feasible?
That would be a terrible idea.
I believe if you do a 50-second, 55-second first round, and you're not a games athlete or very, very close to games athlete, you're probably going to die. So I have an interesting suggestion about that will harken back to like 2013. Do you have any comment on that, John? Not the interesting suggestion, on the pace.
Yeah, I agree that pace that they said is completely irrelevant to 99.9% of the people that are going to be doing the open workout.
Let's say like 98.5%.
No, it's actually.
You said 99.9.
It's probably like 99.5 or 2, or it's 99 something.
So I can't do the math that quick.
Well,
I have a headache.
Thousands and thousands of people compared to like 20.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're not.
Sorry, there's some on my screen. Hold on. I got rid of it. Don't worry.
I'm saying if you're not.
That probably looked really cool. See me swipe like that? Yeah. That's cool. Anyway, get off my screen.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I would agree that the majority of the world is going to be pretty far off that pace.
Else?
Go ahead.
I think the time cap is awesome. It's a very appropriate time cap for your average for most of the people that are going to be doing the. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
I think most people won't finish, but I think your pretty good class athlete is going to have to really dig deep and climb all the way face first into the pain cave, and then still like barely not finish and want to do it 3 more times.
Agree. That's what makes a classic open workout, right? Is a weight that everybody can handle, right? But enough reps that it just gets annoying after a while.
Yeah.
A time cap that's feasible, but hard, right? And enough reps to where it's just, I guess annoying is the only word, right? Those burpees are just going to be mean after a while.
I don't think annoying is the right word. I think extremely painful is the right word.
Yeah, so here's my suggestion, right? We don't have much. We're not going to have much technique-wise on this. Do I think you should power snatch right away like Rich and Scott did? Yes. I don't think you should muscle snatch unless you have a 700-pound muscle. Tom Soroka has like a 330-pound muscle snatch or something ridiculous like that. Those are the people that can muscle snatch. Everybody else should power snatch. Do I think you should clean and jerk? No. Can you stop? I'm trying to
make it
give some insight
because
right
I'm already bored.
Thanks.
Go.
Do I think you should clean and jerk? No. I think you should power snatch unless that weight is we're talking to probably a very small population here, but unless that weight is heavy for you to snatch, right, at 95-65. As far as the burpees go, the one great tip of all time, step in, step out, right? Although there is a penalty. Did you see, I don't know if you watched live, but Rich actually touched the bar. There's a penalty now for touching the bar. So you have to do the whole rep over again if you touch the bar. And that's really where he fell behind Scott.
That's why he lost.
What's that?
That's why he lost.
You lost?
That's why he lost.
Yeah, you can make the argument that was the 20-second difference or 30-second difference or whatever it was. I forgot where I was now. I started talking about Rich and I got all dreamy-eyed. Step into the burpees. The that's allowed again. That was outlawed for 2 years. For 2 years, you weren't allowed to do that, and now you can do it again. We've always said that's the best way to do large amounts of burpees. And here's my weird suggestion. So in 2013, I can't remember the workout at all. I remember being in Brooklyn and doing it with a bunch of athletes. Dan Tomisky was there, some other people, and we suggested that people do their burpees to a metronome, right? And that was in order to keep their heart rate down for whatever, I think it was snatches and muscle. I literally can't even remember the workout. But the idea was to make sure that you controlled your pace on the burpees, right? And I think this is another one of those, right? It's in that same vein where you cannot go. If you go too fast on the burpees on this, a person who could finish is done, right? A person who could have a pretty good time, at least get 8 rounds, 9 rounds, get very close to finishing. If they go out of the gate too fast on their burpees, they're absolutely done on this, right? Because once your heart rate gets spiked and moving back and forth between those two movements, you can't really flush lactic acid, especially because the majority of the time is from the burpees. Therefore, you've got to keep your pace down on the burpees. So whatever you have to do, metronome may not be your thing, right? You may not want a click track in the background.
How do you feel about
counting you through your reps?
How do you feel about the analogy of comparing it to, say, like a 15-minute row? You know, everybody knows if you blow up on the rower. If you knew you were rowing 15 minutes, you wouldn't sprint 500 out of the gate. Right. And everybody knows how it feels to be on the rower and completely die and try to rest in the middle of a row. You can't do it. You cannot.
Yeah. This is absolute. Got to stay below anaerobic threshold. This is absolutely an aerobic piece. You have to move as smoothly as possible. And again, in 2013, we suggested that people use can you stop? Every time I try and say something really actually serious, you got to do that.
Trying to develop your skills.
Plus, I can't hear you half the time.
Trying to get you to perform under adverse conditions.
Oh, it's a test for me.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So metronome may not be your thing, but I think Scott and Rich were about 30 seconds for the first round of burpees, and they didn't really break, especially Scott, didn't really break pace on that. He was between 30 and 40 seconds in general for the burpees. What does that put us at? 3 seconds a rep or something like that. If you're one of those people that has their eyes on finishing, you want to be in that probably 4 second per rep, 5 seconds per rep pace. So I'm not saying, look, if I had to just put a number out there, I would say try and take 50 seconds for your burpees, 30 seconds for your snatches, stand there for 10 seconds, right? That's, in my opinion, the best way to finish this workout. Now, I don't know if you agree or not.
I think that's a good baseline to go off of. Obviously, the problem is with any kind of strict guidance like that is some people are more fast twitch, slow twitch. Some people are going to blow up quicker. Some people are going to redline slower. So I think it's a good way to start off. But I think the key is to start off with some kind of plan and then feel it out, just like you would a 15-minute row or 15-minute run or 15 minutes of monostructural burpees, right? Get into it. Here's my suggestion. Automatically start off slower than how fast you think you can go. Guaranteed how fast you think you can go. So I always think it's better to start off slower, get about 5, 6, 7 minutes into it, and realize I got more in the tank, and speed up on the back end than start off too fast and try to recalibrate.
Yeah, so negative split. That would be a negative split,
right.
Like something you would do running a mile on a track or something like that.
Yeah.
And we've always been proponents of negative splits, and I think it's the only way to do well on something like this. This is like running 2 miles, right? It's basically that, or 2.5 miles, right? It's a little bit less than a 5K. It's in that same time sort of domain. So you got to be. I agree completely, and I would say go even slower than slow.
Yeah.
Like, make it. Look, if you do the first round of this in a minute and a half, you're going to feel like you're going really slow, right? I guarantee it. Everybody out there is like a pipe hitter. They think they're pretty good. You know, they have their mindset on finishing this workout or being even faster. If you do that first round in a minute and a half, it's going to feel super slow. But it will not hurt you, right? It will not hurt you later on in the workout because you can always get faster. What you can't do is go from fast to faster, if that makes sense, right? Once you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
What do you think the best time in the world is going to be?
Ooh, good question. 8 something?
Female. I'm calling it. Female.
8 something maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. You're way better at that than I am.
I'm calling it as a female in the 8:15 to 8:20 range. I don't know who exactly, but definitely a lady person. All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
20.2.
Bye, Rudy.
The deuce. Double deuce.